What is up, enthusiasts? It is Cedar Flags here, and welcome back to another one of my videos. So, as you may or may not know, I have not posted a video in a while, and that was simply because of a small break I took. But, I am fortunate to announce that the regular uploads that you are all used to, few videos a week, will be coming back to the channel very, very soon. So, to start that off, I wanted to go with an unpopular opinion. Today, we are going to be going back to the 1980s, specifically 1984. In this year, parks around the world would be introduced to what is known as the Vekoma Boomerang. If you don't know, Vekoma was a new and emerging manufacturer at the time, and their new concept, the Boomerang, would change everything. Now, looking at it, it is a very simple coaster concept. All it is 3 inversions and 2 lifts. But throughout the recent decades, this ride has had a less good reputation than in the past. That is simply because of its age and repetitiveness, but today, I want to talk about why I am still a huge fan of these once beloved rides. Vekoma Boomerangs get a lot of hate in the community, and I really never understood why. So today, I want to get into my video. In this video, I want to explain why I love Vekoma Boomerangs. Not necessarily why they're great. This is only my opinion, and you are welcome with your own opinion. I also want to say that I do not find these rides elite or anywhere near my top 30, but I want to make a little bit of an argument for why they are good rides. So let's get into it. This is Cedar Flags, and today, I'm going to be talking about why I love Vekoma Boomerangs. So let's look at Vekoma Boomerangs. You've probably ridden one because these are all over the place in Europe, Asia, America, everywhere. So, looking at the layout, it is a pretty decent layout. Now, I feel like this is what a lot of people forget. Taking away the repetitive aspect, the fact that these are all over the place, looking at this as a ride alone, it does have some pretty good features. Now, you may be asking yourself, why? It's lacking airtime and variety, and ultra elite elements. But I would make the counter argument that this ride is good for what it is. The ride starts off with going up a backwards lift. Now, in my opinion, this is extremely suspenseful and very unique. I do not know when the ride is going to drop, and that adds a lot of fear into the ride. Now, on most drop towers like the Larson drop towers and the Intamin drop towers, I have found that you could tell when it is going to drop. But on this ride, I have still not been able to find out. You go down that drop with some incredible forces, slide right into the station, and after that is where the real fun begins. You go into an extremely forceful Cobra roll, which is over 5 Gs in force most of the time. And I feel like this is something that a lot of people forget. Now, this ride is not just forceful by the stats, but in real life, this ride pulls some incredible Gs as well in the positive variety. Now, a Vekoma Boomerang is no Kumba, but I would argue that some of them definitely feel like it. The layout throughout that Cobra roll and the vertical loop are pretty forceful elements, and they will surely pin you to your seat. And if you're sitting in the front or back rows near the edge of the train, the G-forces will only be escalated. But the fun is not over. You go into a front-facing lift hill that takes you up to a dead end, and the suspicion and fear come back. And as the anticipation comes back to you, you get released into the backwards section of the ride. Remember that Cobra roll, that inversion, the vertical loop, all of those great elements? Well, you get to do all of that backwards now. You get to go into a vertical loop backwards, a very forceful one at that, and of course the Cobra roll. And if you're sitting near the front, this is going to be one of the craziest moments on any coaster ever. And to be completely honest, that's describing every single boomerang I've been on, and I've been on a decent amount. I've not been on a single boomerang that hasn't had this sort of experience, whether one have been a little jerkier than the other, or they had different restraints or a different theme. Every single boomerang had the forces that I was asking for. Another reason I really like these rides is the fact that you get to once again experience it forwards and backwards. There will be a lot of elements on coasters that you experience forwards, of course, and a lot less that you will experience backwards. There are a lot of situations where the Vekoma Boomerang is the only chance in the park you can go backwards on an inversion. Heck, it's the only time you can go backwards at all in some circumstances. And going both forwards and backwards, it adds a whole new experience to what would be a much tamer ride. So now let's get into some other reasons besides the elite layout. First of all, these can be very different rides. Now, like I said, I've never been on a boomerang where I had a bad experience, and my favorite on the other side of the spectrum being Sea Serpent at Maurice Piers. This boomerang is absolutely incredible. It is on the side of the ocean, and like I said, on a pier. This ride has an incredible setting, is extremely smooth, is extremely forceful, and the theming itself is incredible as well. This really is the perfect boomerang. My point in this reason is that boomerangs can be different. In every park you go to, it could have a different theme, different setting, and even though the forces will be similar, I love that variety. Another reason I like these rides is that it is a great investment for the park. Like I said, this will be the only ride in a lot of parks that will go forwards and backwards on inversions. This being cheaper and in a small plot of land, why would a smaller park invest in something massive that is going to bankrupt them when they could attract the GP in this way? So to wrap up the video, I love boomerangs for their amazing layouts, their countless other reasons of being great and unique, and their incredible experience in such a small plot of land. If you agree with me, let me know in the comments below, and if you disagree, let me know in the comments as well. I would always love a thoughtful discussion, because I could obviously respect everyone who doesn't like these rides. They are very repetitive, and if you're on a massive road trip, you will encounter these a lot. That's kind of how I feel about the SBF spinners. But when it comes to these Vekoma Boomerangs, I absolutely love these. And until next time, this is Cedar Flags, and I'll see you all later.